Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank braces for protracted Ukraine crisis. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Friday, 29th July 2022. Details when we return.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank says there is very little the institution can do about rising inflation. The effect of the ongoing Ukraine war on inflation was among several issues discussed at an ECCB press conference on Wednesday last. Crime was another one. Don Nicholas of the DBS News World reports.
Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antoine, deems it necessary that major central banks around the world do whatever it takes to get inflation under control, even if that means raising interest rates, which could lead to a recession. At this juncture, according to the governor, there is not much that the ECCB can do about inflation, as most of it is imported from countries outside the region.
I'm not here to confirm that there will be, but there's a prospect or the possibility that a recession may occur as a result of the efforts of our central banks globally to try to address the issue of inflation. Some of you may ask, well, what can the ECCB do about inflation? I'm afraid nothing. The fact of the matter is that in the ECCU, in St. Lucia, we import inflation, principally from the United States, but also from Europe, our major trading partners.
Speaking on violent crime, economist in the ECCB's research department, Beverly Lugay, suggested treating it as a public health issue. Several recommendations accompanied the call, including early childhood interventions, initiatives to assist the unemployed, and low-cost housing to persons who may need to be transferred to a safer environment.
What are the factors that motivate individuals to go into crime? We need to know exactly what those factors are, and then to strategize for a proper treatment plan, and finally to stem the flow of illegal guns. These are the developments in St. Lucia and our recommendations to address some of those.
Mention was also made of a peace program tried and tested in St. Kitts, in which former gang members, youth at risk, and released inmates were given finances to start up businesses while getting certified in their specific fields as part of incentives to discourage a return to a life of crime.
It's a significant investment. I think it's funded through the Citizenship and Investment Program. But that peace initiative has resulted in a significant drop in crime.
ECCB officials say this initiative has a good success rate. According to them, violent crime has dropped by as much as 50% in countries where it was implemented. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas.
In other news, for the fifth month, Barbados has registered economic growth. More in this Barbados Today news item.
Central Bank Governor Cleviston Haynes reported that from January to June, the economy grew by 10.5% as he delivered his report card. A rebound in tourism fortunes led the growth.
Long-stay arrivals reaching 55% of 2019 levels during the second quarter. The sector was again led by the traditional extra-regional markets of the United Kingdom, United States, and Canada. Arrivals from the United Kingdom reached 72% and accounted for 44% of all visitors. There were also modest gains in agriculture, manufacturing exports, and spending in the services sector.
Governor Haynes, however, noted major challenges are on the horizon for tourism given the tough global environment, and as a result, the bank has lowered its growth forecast for the rest of the year.
The continued strength of Barbados' recovery remains dependent on a sustained revival of the tourism sector and the accelerated implementation of investment projects. Forward tourism bookings for the remainder of the year are encouraging as travelers reschedule their COVID-19 postponed trips. The anticipated opening of the Windham St. Lawrence property is expected to boost demand towards year-end. However, significant downside risks remain. For example, the global price pressures, the impact of monetary policy changes on advanced economies, as well as summer travel bottlenecks could dampen travel demand. Changes in relative exchange rates in Barbados' key source markets also have the potential to divert some travel away from the Caribbean, while long-standing vulnerabilities associated with climate change remain.
The economists further cautioned that domestic prices will remain high given rising energy and food prices on the global market.
The U.S. Energy Information Administration projects that average crude prices will fall by approximately 6% during the second half of the year, while the Food Agriculture Organization of the United Nations predicts that food prices will remain at elevated levels through 2022. A sustained rise in prices over time reduces the purchasing power of consumers and firms. It has potential wide-ranging implications, including for the Social Security scheme if weak demand is protracted. As prices rise, government revenues increase in the short run, given that the bulk of revenues are generated by ad valorem taxes, such as the value-added tax. This inflation dividend is likely to be offset in part by increased government expenditure, as government itself faces rising costs of goods and services.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Barbados' fuel import bill tripled in the first 4 months of this year as against the same period last year.
In other news this Wednesday, government's fuel import bill nearly tripled in the first quarter of this year when compared to the same period last year. Word of this from Minister of Energy and Business Kerry Simmons as he cautioned that it could further rise. Addressing the Barbados National Standard Institution Visibility Conference today, he said it remains a major challenge.
In the first 4 months of last year, this country spent $162 million on importing petroleum product into this country. In the first 4 months of last year. This year, in the first 4 months, we spent $455 million in importing petroleum product, as opposed to $162 million over the same period of time last year. That statistic alone tells you the nature of the uphill battle this little island is in order to maintain the quality of life, the standard of living, all the things that we have become accustomed to, all of which are fueled by the fuel that we import, the petroleum product that we import. And the cost of it has escalated alarmingly and unfortunately is likely and is projected to continue to escalate.
Closely monitor the monkeypox situation as symptoms are becoming very severe in some people.
In an interview with CARFI's communication manager Carlin Curtin following the World Health Organization's recent declaration of monkeypox as a public health emergency of international concern, Dr. Joy St. John expressed concern that infected persons have been presenting with new symptoms.
The way in which this monkeypox infection is showing up is different. People are speaking about really severe lesions in strange places. People are talking about the swelling of lymph nodes so that they protrude through the skin even 2 inches out from where they normally would be. There are even reports of people who could not walk because their lymph nodes were so inflamed. So the way in which monkeypox in this outbreak in non-endemic countries is exhibiting means that people need to pay attention and people need to ensure that they are not infected
Dr. St. John also advises citizens not to drop their guard in light of two newly highly contagious COVID-19 variants. She's expecting the new variants could lead to a major spike in coronavirus cases across the region.
Now that we have BA5 circulating, the member states are aware that they're going to get lots and lots and lots of cases. There may not be that many that are severe, and there may not be that many that go on to death, but they know that there's going to be an increase in cases. So they are on the alert for that. So yes, CARFA has seen an increase. The types of tests have increased as well. We weren't doing gene sequencing before, but we're doing it now very regularly.
An Assistant Commissioner of Police in Tobago, Daniel Moore, has sent a warning to the business community in Tobago. Do not part with your hard-earned cash without verification and triple checks. This, as a number of business people have been conned out of thousands of dollars. More from TV6's Elizabeth Williams.
In my 41 years of policing, I never expect to be at this level of stupidity with business people. It's the first time in my life I have come to realize that business people do not have street sense. If they have street sense, they will not be fleeced of thousands of dollars by a name called and somebody come purporting to be someone.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Daniel Moore gave TV6 News an example of the thousands of dollars lost by the business community.
Look, recently, somebody gave a man $15,000 to get US dollar. They did not receive the US dollar, but they gave them $18,000 on top of that. Can you understand what we are going to? Our crime rate in Tobago is pumping up, and number one, they do not know who is the offender. They doesn't know anything about nothing. All they know that they pump money into someone's hand and the person flee.
ACP Moore said police officers are not miracle workers.
And they come to the police, and the police must work magic to get the person and get back the money. I think the business people in Tobago, please use street sense. You have business sense. Yes, you are making millions. Where is the street sense that you will not part with your money until you see what you desire to get?
He said the failure of the Bail Act in Parliament has hindered the police somewhat.
So we are back to square one, and we are wondering that the person who we held today, take to court today, get bail today, and the breaking continue if it's the same person or another person.
Elizabeth Williams, TV6 News.
Over in the Bahamas, Prime Minister Philip Davis appeals for an end to heinous crime following the tragic death of a 4-year-old boy on Tuesday night.
According to police, the child was with its parents when two gunmen ran past their car while shooting at another man. The child was shot and taken to hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries.
My heart cries out to the family. I plead to our people. We are killing one another. There's no need for us to turn on one another. Whatever the issues, we need to be able to work them out. We appreciate the state of our country. We are doing our best to alleviate all the suffering and pain. There's hope and there's relief out there. Just be patient and let us deal with the issues that concern you most.
Conveniently located in the Grand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grandans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.